Good afternoon. Usually morning, but busy morning actually. Anyway, we've had sessions, Marlborough devices, inside, outside, one-to-ones. People just getting started on their kickstart as well. Other people back for more. We have boxing. Yeah, here we are. Anyway, from home, in person. So give me a hello if you're coming in. Hey Cheryl, how are you doing? So I want to talk about something that, I always talk about the weekend and Monday, kind of setting yourself up for the week is such an important thing to do. In the right mindset, right focus, with the right habits and setting your expectations. Setting your expectations is so key. If you just aim for the perfect week every week, it's probably not going to happen. You're going to beat yourself up. If you don't have any expectations, you're always going to be annoyed. And we're almost just going to be putting out fires, like the busy fool. We're just putting out fires all the time and we're frustrated because we're doing everything. But what we're doing, we're not putting the effort that we wanted to put in doing it. So we're not doing it properly. Then we're beating ourselves up for not doing it properly. Could go on. And I've been there too. Don't think I'm immune to that. I'm not. I do that a lot, actually. Just say yes to stuff and then go, damn, I shouldn't have said yes to that. I'm getting better, though. I'm getting a lot better. Anyway, so here we are. I'm talking about the scales this week because, sometimes we say, well, I'm going to have a really good week and then the scales better move. And I'm going to talk about this. It's a conversation I had with someone the other day. And I just want to remind you of this. That I'm going to go over a 2021 study, so brand new study from this year. But before I do that, I just want to say already that, so the UK Chief Medical Officer's report, which comes out, literally was emphasising the importance of building strength, doing strength-based exercise at least twice a week to prevent falls. 1, reduce the risk of type 2 diabetes, and I quote, by 40%. Reduce your risk of heart disease by 30%. Reduce your risk of depression by 30%. Of course, these are statistics, and there's lots of variables with that. But it just reminds me, and as much as it should remind you, you like me know that these are important things, but yet we haven't even mentioned the scales yet in all of these things. And no one asks, oh, Matt, how's your depression going? Oh, Matt, how's your heart disease risk going? How's your type 2 diabetes risk going? How's your bone density and your risk of falls going and fracture, which we know, if you get a hip fracture issue from falling over and you break a bone, it doesn't look that good, actually, in fact. Hence why there's such a push to this at the moment, which is great because it's something that I've been quite passionate about for a long time. Anyway, let's go into the study. So they looked at 16,000 people and they followed them for 14 years, okay? And they found that high compared to low muscle was linked to a 30% reduced risk of death during that time. Obviously, that's inevitable. And high compared to normal body fat, so high compared to normal body fat was linked to a 50% higher risk of death. So you'll see here that the more muscle someone had, the lower risk of death in that period. The more body fat someone had, the higher risk of death. My point again here, these don't even touch on the weight. And we know from muscle and fat how they weigh. They can weigh the same, but one can be very bigger than the other because one's more dense than the other. You could lose a pound, put on a pound of muscle and be smaller, aka smaller. You might notice you're smaller on your arms, smaller on certain areas. But what does this tell us? Well, it tells us that the ratio of muscle to fat is very important. The scales cannot tell you that. Neither can BMI. And as much as they're good things and they're very easy to use in medical situations, when you're embarking on something like a weight loss program, it's even almost more important to focus on these things sometimes. Because if you're doing exercise, which is, let's face it, you want to get stronger at, and a lot of people say, oh yeah, I want to get stronger. Oh my God, I've got no strength in my upper body. I'm out of breath when I climb stairs, go up hills. I need to get stronger lifting. I'd love to be able to lift that. I'd love to be able to do this. We say these things, but then we get disheartened when we don't see the scales going our way. And remember that you have to consider if the scales go up and down, you consider, one, and this one hurts. Are you truly doing enough to make those scales change? Can you honestly say that you're doing enough? 2, consider that weight can fluctuate 4 pounds daily. Water, carbs, salt, stress, sleep, sunburn. Probably not in this weather. hay fever. All these things can fluctuate, not to mention medication that we're on as well. So consider that these things are all variables. And if you've been told in the past, and I know there's a lot of rubbish out there, that, you know, you have to weigh yourself once a week on an evening at 7 p.m, expect huge fluctuations. And it's not always going to, you know, the trend is important, don't get me wrong, but if you put in all that, all your emotional judgment of your hard work into one measure on a Wednesday evening, or whenever you do it, expect to be disappointed quite a lot, because it's not linear and there's so many other variables in here. And I just wanted to remind you of that today, because if that stops you carrying on and doing what you're doing for long enough to see the results that you want, because let's face it, if you do the habits that you know you need to do already, I'm not even talking about anything new here, if you do the habits that you know you need to do already for long enough, you will see results. But sometimes we just can't do them for long enough, or we can't see that there's a small change we could make that could have that big difference. Even if that's a bit of accountability on the weekend when you've been letting it slip, whether that's around the drinking and the calories that come with it, whether it's around sleep, whatever it is, whether it's lunchtime, snacking. And if I'm honest, that's where we come in. That's what we do. We don't work with people to give them, you know, a cookie cutter plan or anything like that. We give structure, a plan, accountability to make sure you do it. So I hope that helps today. I hope that helps. Just got you thinking and starting the week strong, thinking about habits, the process, rather than just that one number, which is still an important factor. Don't get me wrong. It's not the only factor. And if you take care of the habits, that'll come. You just might need to do those habits for a bit longer. But if you let the outcome impact how you feel, that impacts what you do, that'll impact the outcome. Anyway, hope that helps. Have an awesome Monday. Let's hope the weather improves, but it's out of our control, so let's control what we can. Just like with our health and fitness as well. We have no control over what the scale says. We have no control. But we do have control of our actions right now, in this moment. That's all that matters. Are you binge eating right now, in this second? No. Well, that actually means that you can be in control of what that is right now. Just remember that. The only thing that exists is right now. If you're doing it right now, that's the main thing. Give yourself credit, confidence, evidence. Confidence loves evidence. Evidence comes from doing. More things we do, more confidence, more evidence, so on and so forth. Just like for some of the ladies today, come in for their first session today, lunchtime and this morning. There's always going to be nerves. Like, will I do it? Is it for me? Da-da-da. Once it's done, wow, I feel so much better. Why didn't I do this earlier? Doesn't matter now. I'm still beating yourself up. Should have done this earlier. Why am I so rubbish? We go into that mode. Anyway, tangent again. I'll leave you there. Enjoy. Any questions, as always, just reach out. Here to help. Any questions at all. I'm always interested in your questions. It's how I come up with all these videos in here as well. Hey, Caroline. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you soon. Take care.